Andreas Christensen has got a small issue, which we're going to give it another 24 hours, but probably puts him out of the game. There are no fresh returns from the injury list. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is playing in the under-23s this evening to get 90 minutes, hopefully, or somewhere towards that, which would be great for him. But other than that, we are still have no Tammy Abraham, no Christian Pulisic, no Callum Hudson-Odoi, no N'Golo Kante.
Have you got a latest on Tammy Abraham? Any kind of update on what the issue is now?
He went to Barcelona to get another set of eyes on it. Come back relatively positive. Unfortunately, he's a bit unwell at the moment, so he's sort of off for a couple of days with a bit of a bug. So there's no update.
Any idea when he'll be back?
No.
Nothing yet. No. Okay. In the last round, you made 8 changes from the Premier League game the previous week. Given this is, as it stands, your most realistic chance of getting silverware, what can we expect tomorrow night?
Team that gives everything to try and get through to the next round against a very strong Liverpool team. So I believe in the squad. Sometimes you have to make changes. Of course, the game you go game by game, case by case on those ones. And the team I put out should give everything to compete with Liverpool, as we have done twice this season. We competed very well against them, and we're probably unfortunate on both occasions to lose. So we have to play with the same spirit and try and win.
Is Kepa in the frame to come in?
Yeah.
What's his attitude been like since he's been dropped from the team? He's been professional?
Yeah, he's been professional as expected and has trained well and kept his head down, supported the team and the group. Say the same every week, so they get asked this every week. He's been good.
Does he still, though, I think you've probably been asked this as well, does he still have a long-term future under you?
Yeah, every player, and I said this the other day, is in control of their destiny in terms of how they train and how they play. This is Chelsea, and we're trying to close the gap to the top. So there can be no one that can be relaxed or loose or whatever. We have to push every day and then try and win the game that's in front of us. Try and train well on the day that's in front of you. Of course, in the summer, then we look at the group as a whole and think, how can we improve? But there are no decisions or no thoughts beyond the game tomorrow night, as far as I'm concerned.
How difficult is it to prepare for an FA Cup game against Liverpool, given what they've done in the previous round? It's not just been Premier League players who have come in and out. It's been a very, very young team, hasn't it?
Yeah, and they've been fantastic, but I will presume Liverpool will put out their strongest team, or thereabouts, which we see most weeks in the Premier League, which has been fantastic. We'll presume that. I presume that. Knowing that whatever team they put out will give us a very difficult match.
Is it a good time to play them?
Why? Because they lost one game?
Yeah.
Maybe not. Who knows? You know, that can go either way. It's, they've become relatively human for one game. You know, that can happen in this Premier League, which is incredibly competitive. It shows how well they've done in the last year or so, particularly this season. So I can't comment it'll be any easier. This is a strong Liverpool team.
Thank you.
Moose.
Frank, a lot of teams seem to have struggled since the winter break. I had a lot of managers telling me it's exactly what everyone needed was a winter break. Yet it seems that a lot of clubs have struggled to get back into form, and Liverpool may be a good exception. They lost twice since then, away to Atletico Madrid and then pushed by West Ham and then lost at the weekend. Is that fair?
I don't know. It's in isolation you can look at certain teams and maybe say that. I'm guessing they're getting beaten by teams that also had a winter break, so you could look at it the other way around. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think I think personally with me, I just think with Liverpool, they've just now had a couple of results like the rest of us do. They've been out on their own this season, and that's been an incredible feat from Jurgen Klopp and the whole squad and the club. And they've just become, as I say, slightly normal. I wouldn't put that on the break, and maybe with the break, sometimes you can look at it in a short term and question it. Sometimes you can maybe question whether it's better for teams, not in those week or two after the break, but what it does for the run into the end of the season.
Is there any more pressure on you and the team tomorrow to win, because this club loves winning silverware and normally every season does win something?
I feel only the usual pressure for the reason that you said. I don't think normally winning something is something that I think is a phrase that is gone out of the Premier League unless you're Man City or Liverpool, pretty much, you know, in the last couple of years, because they've made so many strides and have gone out on their own slightly. So we have to understand that the landscape has changed, you know, and try and bridge the gap. And every competition we go into, going with the same thought, we want to win it. But realistically, we'll have to be at our best, obviously, to at first beat Liverpool tomorrow.
How does it feel playing these games in a midweek different nights of the week.
Don't mind it. Yeah, it's good. I don't mind it. I understand the busy schedule. Sometimes we can all moan about it for our own little reasons, but the FA Cup's a huge competition. Evening games bring about a different atmosphere, and when you're drawn against someone like Liverpool, then that's a bit of the game that we all want to be involved in.
And finally, you've mentioned you're going to put out the strongest squad you can to win the game, or a squad to win the game. There are players here that are beginning to need games, like because of Joe Tomorrow, who started the season with you and hasn't played for a while.
Played on the weekend.
Yeah, probably.
I know. I know what you mean, and I'm aware of that. That's squad football, and from within, from my point of view, you have to see what you see every day and try and pick an 11 to win each game.
John,
sorry, didn't mean to kill you.
Frank, how are you finding it? Is this season harder than you thought it was going to be?
No, I had my eyes open when I came into it, and I had a hard season at Derby last year, finished nearly very well, but there were some moments there where it's tough. This is a job. What my hard problems are what another manager's hard problems are somewhere else. They're all pretty relative. This is the nature of the job. I'm very aware of it.
Do you have to be a little bit patient as well? Just obviously the summer's going to be massive for you in this club, isn't it? Just to get through to there.
Yeah, I mean yes, because my first feeling and how I am means I'm not very patient, and that's part of how I am as a sports person than I was as a player. I want more every day. I want more the next day. I want it yesterday. But in the situation when you become realistic, and I'm here in my job as the manager, I have to look at it and say, well, there's other things, variables around it, and patience has to be in the game for us for sure.
As you said, Liverpool have lost. There's been an unbelievable run. When you were players, when you go through, and not obviously never been through that kind of run, when you have an amazing run like that and you lose, is it hard when you come start again?
No, I wouldn't say it's an exact science. We can't say it makes it easier or makes it worse. It's just a reaction for the players. So with the type of player they have, the type of manager they have, it can be a wake-up call in a good way as well. So, it depends how you take that. I'm guessing when you look at them, they look like a team of fantastic professionals and a manager who's very driven. So things like that maybe can make this game even harder for us.
okay, last two, Nazar and then Nick to finish.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to ask you, Chelsea, you obviously came to the club and there was a bit of an injury problem. There's a few injury problems when you came in, and this club generally has a really good record with injuries down the years. But now we're hitting another period where there's a lot of people out. Is there a kind of relevance to all the different injuries, why they're coming at this period, and why Chelsea have been hit by a particularly difficult run of injuries now?
No one will give you that exact answer, and I've been a player at this club and we did have a phase of injury problems, and that's not an exact science. What I will say is I agree with you. When we came into the club, injuries overlapping from last year were huge. N'Golo Kante, Tony Rudiger, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who's yet to kick a ball. Callum Hudson-Odoi, Willian had an injury at the start of the season from an international. So they were there from last year. It's definitely been an issue, and now we have another bulk. Christian Pulisic now out for 2 months, and N'Golo Kante has played 50% of our games, and he generally plays 100% of the games or thereabouts. So I think it's been slightly looked. People have looked in slightly different directions with us, with the transfer ban and the youth, but it's been a big issue for us, without a doubt. To lose N'Golo Kante, for me, one of the greatest midfield players in the world, I think pretty much for everyone who watches him, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, one of the most exciting English midfield players in the Premier League, is a huge loss for us.
There can be a tendency to maybe put a blame game when there's a lot of injuries. I was just wondering if some people said maybe the medical, the fitness isn't as good under you or whatever. I was just wondering what you think about that kind of talking point.
What were you saying, the medical? Or you saying the fitness?
No,
I don't.
You can't really know from the outside, but I guess some people have labelled that accusation maybe the style of football, or they could say the way they train.
I haven't seen that. And I wouldn't label it on any one department.
Okay, Nick.
Just with Tammy and Christian, I know obviously you're not sure when they'll be back yet, but are you concerned now about their injuries and how long they might be sidelined for?
The same concern, yeah, it's certainly frustrating for them. Particularly Christian has had a big phase out now and he's desperate to get back. Only with the concern I have every week when they're not fit. And so it's no greater. I'm hoping when I'm not giving an answer, it's not like I'm looking into the distance and I can't see the answer. I'm hoping that they might be fit over the next week or two. I just can't say that with clarity because they've both had their issues. So that's been a difficult one. But my concern remains the same as it always has been, I suppose.
Okay, thank you. Cameras off, please.